Did you know the richest 1% of folks hold on to nearly half of all the moolah in the world? Yeah, we're talking a solid 48%. It's like if you had 100 cookies and one guy just grabbed 48 of them because, well, he just can. And here's a kicker. The top 81 wealthiest humans out there have as much dough as the bottom half of the entire planet. But hey, don't rush to judgment thinking all these rich folks just popped out of the womb wearing diamond-studded diapers. Nope. Out of these high rollers, only 11 were born on third base, thinking they hit a triple. The other 69 scratched their way up from the bottom, armed with nothing but grit, a sprinkle of luck, and maybe a small loan of $1 million here and there. Take Warren Buffett, for instance. This investing legend didn't grow up in a mansion, he was just a regular middle-class kid. But through smarts, skills, and a dash of wizardry, he managed to build a fortune of over $130 billion. Yeah, you read that right, $130 billion. So, if you're looking for a role model in the world of wealth, Mr. Buffett's your guy. We've all seen it, some people living the high life while others scrape by with next to nothing. But have you ever paused to wonder what really separates the rich from the poor? Sure, the obvious answer is money. The rich have a lot more of it. But let's dig a little deeper beyond the dollars and cents. Alright, let's dissect this mystery. Two dudes, same city, same job access, equally ticking IQ clocks, and yet Bob is buying his third yacht and Dave's checking his bank app before ordering extra guac. They're both from your everyday middle-class families, no silver spoons or trust funds. So why does Bob's wallet resemble a stuffed turkey and Dave's looks like it's on a diet? Here's the scoop. It's not about the cash they were born into or some secret treasure map Bob found. It's about the moves they make and the mindset they carry. Strap in as I lay out the game plan these two are playing with. It's time to steal some of Bob's moves and skip Dave's missteps so you can start counting more than just your change. It's just another manic Monday, and our financial odd couple, Bob and Dave, are making their way back from the grind. Dave. He flops onto his couch like a beached whale, fires up Netflix, and zones out to the latest show about vampire lawyers or something. His boss hinted that cracking open a book might just pry open the doors to a promotion. But hey, who's got time for self-improvement when there are 8 seasons of distractions waiting? On the flip side, Bob hits his home base like it's a second job. No sooner has he shrugged off his coat than he's glued to his computer, nose deep in study guides. Despite already having a wall thick with degrees and certificates, Bob's on a quest for yet another shiny credential. Why? Because in the corporate jungle, it's climb or be climbed, and Bob's not about to be the low-hanging fruit. So Bob gets wind that his hero Dan Locke drops a cool $500,000 each year on learning new tricks. That's like buying a house every year, but instead of living in it, you stuff your brain with knowledge. Bob thinks, if that's the secret sauce to rolling in dough, sign me up. And that, kids, is lesson 1 from the rich folks playbook. Never stop learning unless you want your wallet to start shrinking. Cut to Dave, who's about to get a reality check wrapped in a bonus envelope. He pops it open, expecting a treasure, finds $100, and pretty much feels like he's been paid in Monopoly money. He whines to his boss about his decade of servitude, expecting a pat on the back or something. But nope, his boss just hits him with the truth bomb. No late nights, dropping numbers, and basically more slacking than working. Meanwhile, Bob's just casually smashing through work, and his boss hands him an envelope that's slightly heavier. Why? Because it's got a $10,000 check in it. That's right, Bob's making bank because he's basically the office superhero at this point. There's Bob, grinning like a Cheshire cat as his boss tells him his brainy hustling just saved the company a cool $1 million. The fat $10,000 check? Just a small token of, hey, thanks for not being mediocre. That brings us to wealthy wisdom number 2. Rich folks sell what they can do, not how long they can sit at a desk. Next scene, Dave's life. It's almost payday, and he's counting the minutes like he's waiting for the next episode of his favorite show. Paycheck arrives, and he's off sprinting to the bank like it's a Black Friday sale. Rent? Check. Lights on? Check. Taxman? Double check. End of the month comes around, Dave's expecting to see some leftover cash, but surprise, it's gone. Vanished. Dave's looking at his account like it's a magic trick gone wrong. Meanwhile, Bob's payday is a whole different kind of ritual. Before the money even warms his account, $500 zips off into a savings account tougher to crack than Fort Knox. After securing his future, he casually pays off his grown-up responsibilities. Bob's bank account grows faster than a bamboo on steroids, and Dave's doesn't. As the month wraps up, Bob's taking a gander at his bank account, and boy, is it a sight for sore eyes, more digits than a phone number. That's rich rule number 3. Pay yourself first, make your future rich self thank you. Meanwhile, the poor, they're usually thanking everyone else with their paycheck before they save a dime for themselves. Now over to Dave's evening routine. He's vegging out in front of the TV when, bam! An ad for the shiniest, newest high-definition TV hits him. Price tag? A cool $1,000, exactly what he squirrels away for a year's worth of fun. Just as he's about to daydream about this tech treasure, another temptation pops up, the latest PlayStation running for $500,000. Now Dave's caught in a tech lover's worst dilemma, buy one, pine for the other. And there he is, stewing in regret, wishing his boss had tossed him a fatter bonus so he could live the gadget dream. And now for the triumphant finale, Bob crushes his exam like a soda can under a steamroller. Feeling pretty jazzed, he sets his sights on a reward, a snazzy new gaming system, and a top-tier TV. But wait, the math doesn't add up. He's short a cool $500 to snag both. Does Bob wave the white flag? Heck no! He revs up his brain engine and cooks up a plan, a quick consulting gig to pocket the missing funds. And just like that, Bob's gaming throne is funded. That's difference number 4 between the haves and the have-nots. The rich think in terms of, how can I? While the poor think, I can't. Meanwhile, Dave's daily grind is so grueling that the highlight of his morning is shelling out $5 for a Starbucks Frappuccino. It's less about the coffee and more about surviving the day. It's his little $5 lifeline without which the mere thought of work makes him shudder. Now watch as Bob casually strolls past Starbucks, untempted by the call of pricey lattes. Instead, he opts for the free office coffee. It's not gourmet, but hey, it's free. This little act of thriftiness isn't just about taste, it's a calculated move. Over a year, those skipped $5 coffees add up to a whopping $1,500, which Bob is now packing for an all-inclusive beach bash in Mexico. Why does Bob skip the daily caffeine splurge? He's a fan of a Temple University study that shows the big dogs of wealth are often those who can say no to now and yes to later. Turns out, being able to pass up immediate treats for future feasts is a key trait among the financially flourishing. So while Bob visualizes margaritas on Mexican shores, passing up that latte becomes a no-brainer. That's wealth-building wisdom number 5. Rich folks play the long game, while the less affluent often cash in for short-term delights. The economy's doing its thing again, tanking. As a result, companies start chopping jobs like a horror movie villain. Dave, who's perfected the art of minimal effort and Facebook scrolling at work, gets a shocking note from his boss. Hand in your laptop and badge. Just like that, Dave's out of a job, his dreams of job security shattered like a cheap vase. Bob, on the other hand, despite being a star employee, isn't immune to the corporate axe either. In his exit interview, Bob's boss practically gives him a standing ovation for his work ethic before dropping the bad news. Bob nods, shakes hands, and walks out with his head held high, financially prepared for this very day. Bob's no fool. He knows the corporate safety net is more like a fishing net, full of holes. Right from the start, he's been moonlighting harder than a nocturnal superhero, building an online empire and cultivating a dividend-rich garden of stocks. When the axe falls, Bob's more prepared than a Boy Scout with an MBA. That's difference number 6. While the wealthy diversify their income, the not-so-rich put all their eggs in one precarious basket. Fast forward to post-layoff life. Dave's hosting a pity party with his equally downtrodden pals, griping about the rotten economy and dreaming about what could have been if only luck had smiled their way. Meanwhile, Bob's turning his layoff into a social gathering. Over dinner, he casually mentions he's jobless but not hopeless thanks to his financial foresight. Suddenly, opportunities start popping like popcorn from his well-connected friends. One offers him a cushy exec job in construction, while another pitches a consulting venture. Bob's layoff dinner is serving up more than just food, it's dishing out possibilities. Alright, let's recap the high roller habits that keep the cash coming and the crises at bay. 1. Never stop learning. Rich folks are like sharks. If they stop learning, they die financially. 2. Value over time. They're not clocking in hours, they're clocking in achievements. 3. Pay yourself first. Before they pay their bills, they pay their future selves. 4. Growth mindset. It's not about resources, it's about resourcefulness. 5. Delay gratification. Pass on the latte today, fly to Cancun tomorrow. 6. Multiple income streams. Why settle for one paycheck when you can have a portfolio? 7. Rich friends. You're the average of the 5 millionaires you hang out with. Thanks for tuning in. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, share this with your ambitious pals, and catch you next time with more ways to make your wallet as fat as your brain.